Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Honor to him, the blessed one, the worthy one, the fully enlightened one. My utmost respect to the perfectly enlightened Samma Sambuddha, the noble doctrine of the Buddha, and the noble Mahasangha, the disciples of the Buddha. Good morning, dear Dhamma friends. Today we are going to discuss about mindfulness immersed in the body. According to Satipatthana Sutta and Mahasatipatthana Sutta, we have to practice 4 anupassanas: Kaya anupassana, Vedana anupassana, Chitta anupassana, and Dhamma anupassana, and they are the most powerful teachings that can lead us to the perfectly enlightened Samma Sambuddha, the Pacceka Buddha, and the Arahanta Buddhahood. The Buddha said, Ekayano ayang bhikkhave maggo sattanang visuddhiya soka pariddavanang o soka paridevanang samatikkamaya dukkha domanassanang attangamaya nyayassa adhigamaya Nibbāṇasa satchikiriyaya yadidang chattaro satipatthana. Monks, this is the direct path for the purification of beings, for the surmounting of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of dukkha and discontent, for acquiring the true method, for the realization of Nibbāṇa, namely the 4 Satipatthanas. And in those Satipatthanas, the 4 Satipatthanas are mentioned as Katame Chattaro Ida Bhikkhave Kaye Kayanupassī Viharati Ātāpi Sampajano Satima Vinayya Loke Abhijjā Domanassaṃ Vedanasu Vedananupassī Viharati Ātāpi Sampajano Satima Vinayya Loke Abhijjā Domanassaṃ Chitte Chittanupassī Viharati Ātāpi Sampajano Satima Vinayya Loke Abhijjā Domanassaṃ Dhammesu Dhammanupassī Viharati Ātāpi Sampajano Satima Vinayya Loke Abhijjā Domanassaṃ. What are those 4? Here, monks, in regard to the body, a monk abides contemplating the body, diligent, clearly knowing, and mindful, free from desires and discontent. In regard to the world, in regard to feelings, he abides, contemplating feelings, diligent, clearly knowing, and mindful, free from desires and discontent. In regard to the world, in regard to the mind, he abides, contemplating the mind, diligent, clearly knowing, and mindful, free from desires and discontent in regard to the world. In regard to the Dhammas, he abides, contemplating Dhammas, diligent, clearly knowing, and mindful, free from desires and discontent in regard to the world. So over here we see three things for a beginner. For as a start, atapi sampajano sativa, diligent, clearly knowing, and mindful. And then we have the kaya anupassana. Over here we can see anapanapabba and contemplation of the body. And then there are different sections here. Anapanapabba, the section about in-breathing and out-breathing. I would like to share with you let me share the screen. Let me also send the link to you. That will be helpful. Okay. And according to this, we can see Kayanupassana, contemplation of the body, and Anapanapabba, the section about in-breathing and out-breathing, and over here about the famous Kayanupassana, how we abide. Monks, he, in regard to the body, abide, contemplating the body. Hear, O monks, a monk having gone to the forest or to the root of a tree or to an empty heart, he sits down, having folded his legs crosswise, set his body erect, having established mindfulness in front of him, and parimukhaṃ satim upaṭṭhapetva, then so sato asasati, mindful he breathes in, sato pasasati, mindful he breathes out, and dighang va asasanto, breathing in long, dighang asasami pajanati, he knows I breathe in long. Dighang va passasanto, breathing out long, dighang passasami pajanati, he knows I breathe out long. Rasang va assasanto, breathing in short, rasang asasami pajanati, he knows I breathe in short. Rasang va passasanto, breathing out short, rasang passasami pajanati, he knows I breathe out short. Sabbakaya patisangvedi asasisami sikkati, I shall breathe in experiencing the whole body. Iti sikkati, he trains thus. Sabbakaya patisangvedi passasisami iti sikkati, I shall breathe out experiencing the whole body. He trains thus. Pasambhayang kaya sankharang asasisami sikkati, I shall breathe in calming the bodily formation. He trains thus. Pasambhayang kaya sankharang pasasisami sikkati, I shall breathe out calming the bodily formation. He trains thus. So these are the 10 steps that are taught in the Satipatthana Sutta. You can take a look at the Mahasatipatthana Sutta in Digha Nikaya and also the Satipatthana Sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya. Majjhima Nikaya Mula Pannasaka. And the first, it comes, it is the 10th sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya. And so the sutta over here goes on to explain more about the contemplation of the body. And I think about the Anapanasati, I'm not going to discuss more detail about the Anapanasati. I want to discuss more about um, the 32 parts of the body actually. So let me skip this part. And there are 18 steps about the breathing in and breathing out. And Kaya Anupassana again is explained here. Punacharparam bhikkhave bhikkhu gacchanto va gacchami iti pajanati, thito va thitom hi iti pajanati, nisinno va nisinnom hi iti pajanati, sayano va sayanom hi iti pajanati, yatha yatha va panas kayo panihito hoti, tatha tatha va tatha tathanang pajanati, iti ajjattang va kaye kayanupassī viharati, bahiddhā va kaye kayanupassī viharati, ajjatta bahiddhā va kaye kayanupassī viharati, samudaya dhammanupassī va kayasmiñ viharati, vaya dhammanupassī va kayasmiñ viharati, samudaya dhammanupassī va kayasmiñ viharati, atthikāyoti va panassa Satipachupattita hoti. Yavadeva jnanamattāya patisatimattāya anisitocha viharati nacha kinchi loke upadiyati evaṁ pikho bhikkhave bhikkho kaye kayanupassī viharati. And over here, the section of the about the postures. So the monk, when he goes, he knows while going, I go. I stand, he knows while standing. He knows I sit while sitting. He knows I sleep or lie down while sleeping or lying down. In whatever way his body is disposed in that way, he knows that way. In this way, in regard to the body, he abides contemplating the body internally, ajjhatang. Ajjhatang va kayanupassī viharati, internally he knows. And bahiddha va kayanupassī viharati means he abides contemplating the body externally, means about the other people. Internally means about oneself, externally means about other people. Ajjhata bahiddhava kayanupassī viharati means about oneself and about the others as well. So samudaya dhammanupassī va kayasmiñ viharati, he abides contemplating the nature of arising in the body. Or he dwells contemplating the phenomenon of origination in the body, samudaya. And vaya dhamma means contemplating the nature of passing away in the body, and then samudaya vaya dhammanupassī is the arising and passing away in the body. Atthikāyo va iti panassa satipachupattita hoti, mindfulness, that is, that there is body is established in him. Or else mindfulness that there is a body, not a being, is established in. When you contemplate on yourself and the others, about your body and the others, then there is an understanding, there is a mindfulness that is established in yourself, that there is not a being but only a body. This is very important for your further progress in the meditation. To the extent necessary for bare knowledge, or that there will be for the development of the knowledge and the mindfulness to the full, and lives with continuous mindfulness. Or he dwells without tanha or craving or attachment and ditti, dogmatic view. He lives without tanha and ditti. Nacha kinchi loke upadhyati. He abides independent, not clinging to anything in the world. In this world of beings, he does not cling to any form, rupa, etc. as a being. This is the most important thing when we keep practicing. So while walking, while sitting, while laying down, um, whatever you do in your life, you are mindful about this. This is a very important part of our body. Kayagata sati, or mindfulness immersed in the body. And then punachaparam bhikkhave bhikkhu abhikkante patikkante sampajanakari hoti alokite vilokite sampajanakari hoti sammijite pasarite sampajanakari hoti sanghati pattachivara dharane sampajanakari hoti asite pite khaite saite sampajanakari hoti uchchara passava kamme sampajanakari hoti गते ठिते निसिन्ने सुप्ते जागरते भासिते तुन्ही भावे संपजानकारी होती iti ajhattam va khaye khayanupasse viharati. And then it goes on to explain like the previous one, bhaidhava, ajhatta bhaidhava, and etc. Evampiko bhikkhave bhikkhu khaye khayanupasse viharati. Now, whenever you um, the monk uh, knows when going forward and returning, and a monk clearly knows when looking ahead and looking away. A monk clearly knows when flexing and extending his limbs. A monk clearly knows when wearing his robes and carrying out his outer robe and bowl. A monk clearly knows when eating, drinking, consuming food, and tasting. A monk clearly knows when walking, standing, sitting, falling asleep, waking up, talking, and keeping silent. In this way, in regard to the body, he abides contemplating the body internally and externally. So this is the another part of the Kayagata Sati. Then there is Sampajana Pabba, the section, this is the Sampajana Pabba, the section of awareness. And over here we can see 17 steps explained in the sutta. And then the other part, Kayānupassana Patikkula Manasikara Pabba. This one is again very important. I think I will go to my slideshow in explaining this part. So over here we can see the 32 parts of the body being explained in the sutta. Over here in the Asubha Bhavana, foulness of the body, we also have the 4 protective meditations, as most of you must have heard: Buddhanusati, Mettanusati, Asubhanusati, and Marananusati. And over here, I want to focus more on the Asubhanusati, contemplation on foulness of the body. And this contemplation on the unattractive nature of the body. And when you recollect on the 32 loathsome parts of the body, there are many things that we need to learn. Mindfulness immersed, mindfulness of repulsiveness of the body, we call it particular manasikara. And one of the 6 techniques to be practiced under one of the 6 techniques to be practice under the contemplation of the body is explained here. And so, suitable meditation object in both concentration and insight meditation. This is a very, very, very important meditation, especially the Kaya-nupassana. It is explained that Kaya-nupassana has a really important sutta or teaching about the Kaya-gata sati or Kaya-nupassana. In Anguttara Nikaya, there are 38 suttas on this subject. And most number of followers in the Buddha Sasana have followed this Kaya Anupassana to attain Arahantahod. So this is the most popular Mula Kammatthana Bhavana according to the Buddhist history. And according to different kinds of temperaments that we have, it is according to Buddhism, we have 6 kinds of temperaments like Raga Charita, Dosa Charita, Moha Charita, Saddha Charita, Vitakka Charita, and Buddhi Charita, different temperaments of people. So this one is most um, predominantly important for Raga Charita people. So, Asubha Bhavana, 32 Kayagata Sati or other, these 32 Kayagata Sati or 32 parts of the body can be very helpful to all of us. And other charita also actually can practice. The people from other temperaments can also practice. They can be mindful in this life and they can also develop mind. But particularly this Kayagata Sati is particularly important for Asubha, Charaga Charita people. How to practice this? As every other meditation technique, this one also needs sila. That is the very foundation of our meditation. Sila. Pancha Sila, 5 precepts, Atha Sila, 8 precepts, Dasa Sila, 10 precepts, and for Samaneras, also Samanera Dasa Sila, and for the Upasampada or fully ordained monks, it is the 227 Sila, and then the Bhikkhunis, it is the 311 Sila. These are important practices. Sila Visuddhi, purification of Sila, precepts. And then it is also important to have Kalyana Mitta, Acharya instructions. So we need to have the instructions from a wonderful Kalyana Mitta Acharya. So when you practice, you need to have the guidance, instructions from such an understanding and comprehensively knowledgeable teacher. According to commentaries, there are lots of instructions given here. Over here, these 32 parts of the body can be practiced like vachasa, verbal chanting, and manasa means mentally, mental reflection, and vachanato, that is, then we can actually read them or verbally read to yourself, and santanato, we can also think of the different shapes and structures of these things. And disato, this is about the points, like navel point. We need to focus on the 32 parts of the body. Some parts of the body parts above the navel point, and the other body parts below the navel point. And okasato, that is placement. And parichedato means boundary wise, completely everything about these the entire boundary of these 32 body parts. Let's say you want to talk about, you want to contemplate on hair or head hair. So you think of that. You just read them verbally and also mentally. I will explain more about that, how to do the entire 32 parts of the body, and I think that will be very, very helpful. I will come back to that a little later. So, in practicing every meditation, we don't need to worry about past. And as mundane lay people, we must have done so many good and bad things in our life. So we need to focus. It's okay. You have done something wrong in your past. It's okay. You have to focus now and not to fear or desire about the future. When you practice meditation, do not worry about the past and do not fear or desire about the future. Totally focusing on oneself right now, right here. This is important for your practice. Then it is easier to focus on meditation and progress towards Chitta Samadhi and then Parikarma Samadhi and Arpana Samadhi, etc. That way we can focus more, we can develop more on our Kayagata Sati. And there are 42 Kaya Anupassana meditations according to Mahasatipatthana Sutta. Anapana Sati, 4 Anapana Sati, and Iriyapatha Manasikara, like the way we were um, explaining before, how we focus on, contemplate on our different um, different parts of um, actions, behaviors, and gestures, everything about that. In the Chatupa Sampajanya Manasikara, Patikula Manasikara, Dhatu Manasikara, and Navasivatika, and that way there are 14 parts. And then another category is explained in Kayagata Sati Sutta, and there are 4 Varnakasina or Kesa, for example, Kesa, Loma, Naka, Danta, all those 32 parts of the body. We need to focus on different colors. For example, Nila, the blue color, Pita, the yellow color, Lohita, the red color, and the Odata, the white color. So, although our head hair is normally black color, we call that also as Nila. It can also be called Nila here. So, we also have in our body some black parts, and then some like yellow parts, and some um, like blood part or red color part, and then also white, for example, teeth. So focusing on these things, we can also practice um, meditation. And then another important part is patikula manasikara kayagata sati, that is um, contemplating on the foulness of that. Every single part of these 32 sections are important to focus, develop more as foulness. That way we can develop all the way up to jhanas. Then also through this we can also um, progress more onto the vipassana. So through particular or by practicing on the foulness of these body parts, we can attain the rupa vachara jhanas. Very important. Rupa vachara jhanas, the first jhana, for example, and then you can go on to practice second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, and all these 32 parts, if you focus on we can attain 32 first jhanas. And then Dhatu Manasikara is the elements of the contemplation on the elements of these. All these uh, 32 parts of the 32 parts of the body also can be categorized under elements. The I will explain more on that also little later with the chart, with the slides, and through that we can actually progress to the vipassana. And then Nila Kasina and the other kasinas can also very important that someone can progress all the way up to the Samapati's 8 attainments. And so if you focus on Nila Kasina, Pita Kasina, Lohita Kasina, Odata Kasina, someone can attain Atta Samapati's 8 attainments. So blue color and the yellow color and the red color and the white color of these 32 parts of the body, and we continuously focus on them, we can attain the Samapati's 8 attainments. Dhatu Manasikara can also be very helpful for our Upachara Samadhi. Upachara Samadhi is an important progress of our meditation, and eventually this meditation, this concentration can help us attain further jhana and the samapatis. So as I mentioned, the foulness of the body is important to focus, foulness of the body. And there are different types of samadhi too. Maybe I will come back to that with uh, the slide. So this is a very important, a popular meditation technique in Theravada Buddhism. Many monks have practiced this Theravada practice, this meditation practice, and they have attained the Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arahanta. So it is really important. And according to the temperaments, as I mentioned, a protective meditation which can act as a powerful antidote to sensual desire and lust. And many of us more or less have raga charita or lustful temperament, and it is very helpful if we practice on these 32 parts of the body. That way we can balance our lifestyle, and we can progress more on our meditation. And for sensual desire is the craving for pleasant and visible objects, and that is the eye. So we have to also get rid of these 5 hindrances: Kamachanda, Vyapada, Thinamidha, Uddhacha Kukucha, Vichikicha. Kamachanda is the sensual desire. For example, the craving for pleasant visible objects through the eye. When we see some pleasant object, then we can have sensual pleasure. And same thing with the pleasant sounds through the ear, we can have sensual desire, kama chanda. And when we have pleasant smells through the nose, then we can have sensual desire. Same with the food, pleasant taste through the tongue, and pleasant tangible objects through the body, we can have sensual desire. So these are the hindrances that we have, nivarana that we have when we practice kayagata sati. And the objects of sensual desire may be from a current or past experience. This is mostly something to do with uh, our neuroplasma, or maybe something to do with our present past memory. This can be also present experience and also can be past memory. If you have seen something, if you have tasted some food, if you have smelled something, if you have touched something, you have the previous experience, previous memory, and that can evoke immediately when you currently experience those things. So those objects of sensual desire can mostly be from our past experience connected with the present experience. And over here, I have these 32 parts of the body. It is a little bit smaller, but I will read out for you, and later I will show you in bigger font. So the 32 parts of the body, I think many of you know, like kesa, hair of the body or hair of the head, and then loma, hair of the skin, that the body hair, nakha, nails, danta, teeth, tacho, skin, mansang, flesh, and naharu. And in some texts, we also can find it as nharu, but I think it is naharu. It should be the case in my understanding, although this nharu is also mentioned in some places. So this is the sinews, and then atti, bones. Atti minjang is marrow, bone marrow, and then wakang is kidney, hadayang is heart, yakanang is liver, and kilomakang pleura, and pihakang spleen, and papasang lungs, antang intestines. This is mostly the large intestines. Then antagunang is mesentery or small intestines. Udariyang, stomach with its contents. And karisang is feces. And pittang, bile. And semham, flame. And pubbo, pus. Lohitang, blood. And sedo, sweat. Medo, fat. Asu, tears. Vasa, grease. Kelo, saliva. Singhanika, nasal mucus. And lasika, synovial fluid. Muttang, uh, muttang is the urine, and mattake mattalungang is the brain. Mattaka is the top of your head, and mattalungang is the inside part, that is the brain. So these are the 32 parts of the body. So I mentioned here last one as the Mathake Mathalungang, and in our category following, this one actually comes as number 20. So we will remember it in uh, in the slides followed by. So over here, the first 20 body parts belong to the group consisting of mainly the earth element, okay, or solidity. I will show you later on. The Pathavi Dhatu. So, Kesa, Loma, Nakha, Danta, Tacho, Mansang, Naharu, Atti, Attimindya, Wakkang, Hadayang, Yakanang, Kilomakang, Pihakang, Papasang. All these things are actually mostly the um, earth or the solid element. This is predominantly earth, but the other elements are also there. For example, teeth, predominantly earth element, but it also has the water element, the air element, and the fire element. All the elements are also there in this. For example, inside the teeth there are cavities. When you have toothache, you can really see that. Root canal treatment, when you do it, you can also see how they go deep into that. And there is a cavity, and that air element can also be there. The water element and even the fire element is there. It is slightly less, but predominantly it is the earth element, Pathavi Dhatu, that we have in the first two body parts, 20 body parts. The other 12 body parts belong to the group consisting of mainly the water element or fluidity, Apo Dhatu. In fact, our body has mostly the water very heavy with the fire, with the water element or Apo Dhatu. So, how to practice this? There are 7 steps in practicing the this wonderful um, foulness of the body or Kayagata Sati. I want to focus more on this part of the meditation. And as I have explained the other Anapanasati and other methods previously, maybe I can explain that more later. But this one, I think, is very, very unique, very, very important. Also, really, really helpful to all of us. So, repeating the 32 body parts verbally, and then repeating the 32 body parts mentally, and contemplating on the body parts according to their color, according to their shape, and also directionally, that means above or below the navel point, and contemplation on the body parts spatially, and contemplating on the position and dissimilarity between the body parts. So that way we have to practice this uh, Kayagata Sati, or 32 parts of the body in 7 different ways. So we can group them into 6. 20 body parts of solidity or earth element can be categorized into 4 groups of 5, and 12 body parts of liquidity into 2 groups of 6. So we have actually 7 parts in total. How do we practice now? The group 1, we have Kesa, head hair, Loma, body hair, Nakha, nails, Danta, teeth, Tacho, skin. So this is the first group. What you have to do is you need to actually know these things. You need to know inside out about the color, the shape, and everything about these body parts. I think it is important for us to have an understanding about the body, inside our body and outside our body. This is very helpful in practicing this meditation. And how do we practice? The first 5 days, you practice on Kesa, Loma, Nakha, Danta, Tacho, and that is called Anuloma, so gradual way. And then Patiloma is the other way, Tacho, Danta, Nakha, Loma, Kesa. So that way we need to practice another 5 days. So the first 5 days Anuloma, and the second 5 days reverse order. That is Patiloma. And then we go to the second group of um, group 2, that is Mansang, Naharu, Atti Minjang, Wakkang. And then first 5 days you practice this way, Anuloma way, and then again the reverse order, Wakkang, Atti Minjang, Atti Naharo, Mansang. If you want to practice in Pali, you can do that way, or you can practice also in English. Flesh, tendons, bone marrow, kidneys, bone marrow, bone, tendons, flesh. That way you keep practicing for 5 consecutive days. And then the third one, the third practice actually, we practice together, group 1 and 2 together. Kesa, Loma, Naka, Danta, Tacho, and Mansang, Naharu, Atti, Attiminjang, Wakang, and then reverse shoulder also. That way we practice another 5 days. So you continue to practice like that, and your meditation can be really sharpened. And in group 3, Hadayang heart, Yakanang liver, Kilomakang pleura, and Pihakang spleen, and Papasang lungs. And then the reverse order is lungs, spleen, pleura, liver, and heart. And group 4, Antang, intestines or small intestines, Antagunang, mesentery or large intestines. I think it is the other way around. Udarayang, stomach and its content, Kharisang, feces, Mattake Mattalungang, brain. So in the previous order, as I mentioned, the Mattake Mattalungang comes normally at the end, but for the meditation we have it as the 20th part. So this way the first 20 parts of uh, these body parts actually have more earth element, and later the other things actually have more water element. Pittang bile, Senhang phlegm, Lohitang blood, Kubo pus, Sedo sweat, Medo fat, Asu tears, Vasa skin oil, Keno saliva, Singhanika mucus, and Lasika fluids in the joints, and Mutta urine. These are mostly to do with the apodhatu, or the, this is little bit, sometimes it can be scary to some, but this is very important for practitioners point of view. So group 1 is Kesa, head hair, Loma, body hair, Nakha, nails, Danta, teeth, hair, skin. So the reverse order also you can practice like skin, teeth, nails, body hair, head hair. Or Kesa, Loma, Nakha, Danta, Pacho, Danta, Nakha, Loma, Kesa. So reflecting on the first group of 5 body parts, both forward, Anuloma, and backward, Patiloma, while visualizing them in one's mind. So you need to visualize your head hair and others' head hair too. Ajatangva kaya means your head hair. Bahidhava kaya means others' hair. We need to practice. This is very important. I remember when we became ordained. When we were ordained, we were given a little bit of hair, head hair, then when we were shaven, and we were practicing kesa, 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 like that. So we were practicing on that, repeating verbally while the senior monks were shaving our head. Okay, so this is how it is done, and this could be continued in a similar way with the other 3 groups of solid parts, followed by the 2 groups of liquid body parts, finally reflecting all 32 body parts forward and backward, Anuloma and Patiloma. It is very important to practice this way. And then when you do that, you can overcome the feeling of lust and attachment, and you do not develop a feeling of aversion. also another mental hindrance, like vyapada. So these things can be overcome very easily when you keep practicing these 32 parts of the body. And one of the 10 recollections is Asubha, 10 Asubha. And out of the 40 meditation objects suitable for concentration meditation, samatha meditation, we have this actually as Marananusati. So I think I want to discuss more about these 32 parts of the body that can help us in our meditation. How important it is for all of us to practice these 32 parts of the body. Every one of us, we need to keep focusing on these 32 parts of the body. As I mentioned, the first panchaka, kesa, loma, nakha, danta, tacho, anuloma, or um, like forward order for 5 days, and kesa the other way, like patiloma order, tacho, danta, nakha, loma, kesa. You have to verbally, you don't say it out loud, but it can be heard only to you. And later you can also do it mentally, reflecting on them. You can practice the same way. Kesa, Loma, Nakha, Danta, Tacho for 5 days, Anuloma way. And then again, Patiloma way, Tacho, Danta, Nakha, Loma, Kesa. And second Panchaka again, the five group is Mansang, Naharu, Atti, Attininja, Wakang. This forward way 5 days, and then again the Anuloma way and the Patiloma way is the backward way, reverse order. Wakang, Attininja, Atti, Naharu, Mansang. This way we practice another 5 days. Now when we keep practicing like this, already we have practiced 20 days. And later we put them together. The first 10 body parts. Kesa, Loma, Nakha, Danta, Tacho, Mansang, Naharu, Atti, Attiminjam, Wakkang, this is the these are the 10 parts, and Anuloma way, the forward method, we need to practice 5 days. And then the Patiloma way, we need to practice again reverse order 5 more days. Patiloma way, Wakkang, Attiminjang, Atti, Naharu, Mansang, Tacho, Danta, Nakha, Loma, Kesa. And the third Panchaka is Hadayang, Yakanang, Kilomakang, Tihakang, Paphasang. And that is again a forward way, 5 days. And then the reverse order, Patiloma way, Paphasang, Pihakang, Kilomakang, Yakanang, Hadayang. And then we combine all the five sections of the first part. Kesa, Loma, Nakha, Danta, Tacho, Mansang, Naharu, Atti, Attiminjang, Wakkang, Hadayang, Yakanang, Kilomakang, Pihakang, Paphasang. And then the reverse order, we practice again. So 5 days, Anuloma and Patiloma. And then the fourth Panchaka, again, Antang, Antagunang, Udariyang, Karisang, Mathalungang. So the brain comes here as the 20th part. And then the reverse order again, for 5 days again. So again, the first 20 Kesa, Loma, Naka, Danta, Tacho, Mansang, Naharo, Attiminyang, Wakang, Hadayang, Yakanang, Kilomakang, Pihakang, Papasang, Antang, Antagunang, Udariyang, Karisang, Mathalungang. This is the Anuloma way, forward method. 5 days. And then the Patiloma reverse order again, 5 days. And then the other part is fifth one is actually uh, instead of five, this time we take six. Tittang, Semhang, Pubbo, Lohito, Sedo, Medo. So the six again 5 days, and the reverse order another 5 days we need to practice. Then the first 26 again we need to practice. And then the last one, actually sixth section, is Asu, Vasa, Kelo, Singhanika, Lasika, Mutta. So this is the last part of the meditation. And 5 days Anuloma and 5 days Patiloma, forward and reverse order. And then finally everything together. So over here we practice verbally, and then we practice mentally, and it is very important to practice that way. Anupubbato means um, the the gradual order, and also uh, it is said we should not practice faster. Nati sighato, nati sanikato. We should not practice too faster or too slower. And vikepa patibhanato, that means we have to practice mindfully without being distracted. And panyati samatikkamanato, that means we have to abandon the notion of those body parts and taking them as foulness. This is again each and everyone part of these 32 body parts. We need to practice that way, giving up the name, giving up the whole notion of that. This is just a body part, just the element. We might be able to practice more, and that way the raga, the lustful temperament can be definitely contained. And then anupubba munchanato, not to worry about those that you don't understand. Sometimes you keep practicing the 32 parts of the body. Sometimes you might not understand, or you might not realize all of them equally. It is okay just to practice whatever you understand, and later you can practice more on the other parts of the thing. And this way, if we keep practicing, we can actually learn much more. And then about the appana samadhi, it is said we can actually go on to see the color and the smell and all those structure, the content, and we focus on contemplate on those things, and then mindfully meditating on those things, and eventually we can give up them and meditate in them as foulness and abandoning the name, and then we can actually have the very momentary samadhi, chittakkana samadhi. For a very fraction of a second, we can have the samadhi. And when you keep practicing this appana samadhi, we can further develop it later. And that way, nivarana, or the hindrances, can be suppressed, and eventually upachara samadhi can be generated. And when you keep practicing avajjana, samapajjana, aditthana, utthana, pariutthana, the five ways, when we practice, we can um, we can uh, progress more on these 32 body parts. For more about these uh, meditations, we can also learn through Siti Bhava Sutta and Bojjhanga Kosala Sutta and Adhichitta Sutta. So I recommend you practice, you read more about these suttas as well if you want to learn more about these meditation. And through jhana, we can practice more and 32 element parts of the 32, and we also have actually um, 6 vayu dhatus and 4 tejo dhatus. 6 vayu dhatus means 6 11 6 wind element or air element is there in the last 12 parts, and also we have 4 tejo dhatus, 4 tejo dhatus, the fire element, and altogether, in fact, it becomes uh, not 32 but 42. That way, the Patavi Dhatu, we have the first um, earth element in the first 20 parts, and the Apo Dhatu, the remaining 12 parts, and the Tejo Dhatu, the fire element in 4, and Vayu Dhatu, the wind element in 6. So one by one, when we practice, we can see these 4 elements more or less. We need to analyze them. We need to focus more about the 6 characteristics, and that way we can learn more, much more about this wonderful meditation, and then we can attain the repeatedly when we contemplate, you realize the entire body as only 4 elements. And when you further meditate, you can find, you can further investigate, and then you can attain the rupa and the arupa jhanas. And that way we can focus more and attain more. And then this is very, very helpful for our um, lots of benefits are there when we practice this. First, it is mindfulness can be improved, and then we also can attain a lot of knowledge about this, and then it is said vidya vimutti, like how we can liberate ourselves, and then even the 4 maggapalas, then we can also have the path and fruition. This is very important. A monk or a practitioner who practice like this can live like an arahanta person and no attachment. Always that person can have that foulness concept and asubha sanya, that can be there, that perception of um foulness. Whenever you see someone, you don't feel attached. You just see the reality of this, and never lose interest in meditation. Also, when you keep practicing, and you also do not fear. You never fear when you keep practicing. You never fear, just like the Vajra Bhikkhunis, when she was practicing on this, it is said the Mara was interfering, and Bhikkhuni Vajra said, why do you try to tempt me? This is just the 4 elements, and that way she even could get rid of the Mara. So, and then again, the patience. Patience also can be improved. You can bear with the cold, the heat, hunger, blame, praise. When some people blame you, you can bear with it. And when someone praise you, also you can bear with it. When you have lots of pain, different ways of suffering, torturing, you can bear with it. Just like many monks who have undergone these intense practice, training, and how they have overcome their sansaric order and eventually attain the Nibbāṇa. So one can attain arahanthood this way. Even Venerable Ananda was practicing this Kayagata Sati, and many other monks. So many monks have, most number of monks, it is said, attain arahanthood through Kayagata Sati. And remember, only during the Buddha's era, we can practice this Kayagata Sati, it is said. And also, not the devas, not the celestial beings, but only the uh, humans can practice this meditation, Kayagata Sati. So I hope this one was helpful to you, and so continue to practice as much as you can, and that way you can improve your meditation, and hopefully you can be more benefited with this wonderful meditation. With that, I conclude today's Dhamma talk, and thank you everyone for joining, and looking forward to seeing you with another Dhamma talk in coming Sundays. And with the blessings of the Noble Triple Gem, I would like to invoke blessings upon all of you. May you all be well, happy, healthy. May no harm come to you from water, fire, air. May you always be safe and protected wherever you are. May you and your family members, friends and relatives, teachers and elders always be safe and protected. May you all be well, happy, healthy, safe. May you be associated with wonderful Kalyana Mitra friends. May you be able to listen to the Dhamma, learn the Dhamma, practice the Dhamma. And may you and your loved ones and everyone in your family, everyone in your community, and everyone in the world, including all Devas, Lakshmas, be able to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbāṇa. Within that, please keep your palms together, close to your heart, and say 3 times, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Sabbidhyo vivajjantu sabbarogyo vinasatu mate bhavattvantarayo sukhe dīghāyuko bhave. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sukhī bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sukhī bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sukhī bhavantu te. Abhivadana Sīlisa Nityaṃ Vardhāpachāyino Cattaro Dhamma Vardhanti Āyuvanno Sukhaṃ Balam Āyurārogya Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Devaca Ato Nibbāṇa Sampatti Nidāti Samprati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.